Hi, and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, Head Currency Analyst. In this video, we're going to take a look at the week ahead analysis. We're going to look at the news for the week and some charts of interest. So, going on to the news, there's not a lot in terms of high impact. There is some medium impact data this week that covers sort of the US, Europe, and Asia. A lot of it to do with sort of retail sales and things like that. But from the high impact point of view, there's only a few sort of ones to keep an eye out. Now, Wednesday is going to be a very big day. You've got the ECB president speaking, Bank of England governor speaking, and the federal chairman Powell speaking at 2:30 p.m. This is British Standard Time in here, so 2:30 p.m. there. And interestingly enough, that could create quite a lot of volatility in the market. So usually when volatility increases, we see a decrease of risk in the market. So if there is some kind of increase in volatility around that point, we could actually get a little bit of sort of dollar buying, maybe even yen buying around those around that time on Wednesday. But that's going to be quite interesting to keep an eye out on. Obviously, we could hear some economic outlooks for the coming events. So you want to keep your eyes on what is said in those speeches coming up. Towards the end of the week, we do have some ISM manufacturing PMI out of the US and CP consumer confidence at the start of the week. So, if we do start to see some declines here, it could jump into the narrative of a slowing down of the economy, which is kind of what the US wants to see at the moment. They want to see a balance between that supply and demand in the market. Going on to the strength meter again, so the only two things to really note for me is the Swiss franc is coming into some highs and the Kiwi is coming into some lows. Usually when the markets come into these areas of resistance, we kind of call it resistance and support, but essentially if a currency is extremely strong, sometimes we can see the reversal of that. If a currency is extremely weak, we can sometimes see a reversal of that. Now, I typically on the strength meter would like to see it kind of bottom out first and then start to move up, or top out first, then start to move down before really looking for that reversal opportunity. You can kind of see here recently we had the dollar was the strongest currency. It topped out a little bit there and then started to see that decrease, and that's what I typically look for when I'm looking at this strength meter, is looking to see where the extremes are, or what currencies are at extremes, and are they going to turn just yet. So it doesn't look likely at the minute. We're not getting that bottoming out at the moment, but so basically Kiwi and Swiss could continue on their current paths at the moment. Let's go into euro dollar then. So euro dollar pretty much remained within this really tight trading range last week. We haven't really seen significant moves. Now, usually when we get sort of high volatility but lack of direction, we can often see a breakout in the market. Now, the two sort of areas of interest is going to be last week's high and last week's low. Depending on what happens in the market, we could see either price trade to the upside. That would mean or require some US dollar weakness to happen in the markets, which is, we do have a kind of an inside candle being developed on the weekly time frame, or had developed, has closed as a sort of an inside bearish candlestick on the dollar, but current fundamentals would suggest that the dollar economy is still strong, and you've still got to look at the fact that the Federal Reserve are going to hike rates quite aggressively, so the dollar could still continue to strengthen. So the key low is going to be quite interesting this week. I think if price trades below the point of control, trades below that low, we could see some further downside on euro. But coiling up usually leads to some kind of breakout forming. May, silly as it sounds, may get a breakout to the upside and then a close back within and a move down as well. We may try and attract some sort of some sort of buying in and around this area before price takes the other side of it. So be aware of that as well. Kiwi is quite interesting. So Kiwi on the strength meter, the weakest currency, so we could still see some downside to that market. We kind of highlighted this area as an area of interest last week for some opportunities. We had a double top there. Price continued down. Price has now come back to sort of the area where that selling took place. So, we could start to see a little bit of downside from this market. We may pop up into the point of control before seeing some continuations here. If price is going to continue down around about 62 sort of 30, 62.40, you've got this kind of area down through here where lots of price action going on. So we could see an extension towards that point. Dollar CAD then, so we featured dollar CAD in a video. This is more to do with just the sort of general technical analysis here, as well as a little bit of fundamentals thrown in. The fact that CAD's had some really strong numbers data-wise recently from retail sales and things like that. So we could see this sort of range continue to play out. Every single time price has been back at the high of this range, we've had a decrease in the price, with the price coming back down towards these channel lows. So what we talked about in the video was the fact that price came up into the previous high, came up into this channel high. Could we see a continuation to the downside here? So, lots of momentum here. That could see price push back down towards this area, and the sort of targets for this could be around about this 126, 125.50 low for this market. So keep an eye on dollar CAD. Could be some downside moves to come. Finally then, pound yen. So pound yen we talked about as well in a previous video. We talked about shorts pretty much in at this high in here. We did get that change of trend here on the 4-hour time frame. Price has slowly pulled back, which can often lead to another expansive move. I've highlighted this 167 area as an area of interest. If price was to potentially come back to this area, we could see some selling coming in at that point. Key is going to be a break of last week's low. If we can take out last week's low, we'll probably come and retest 62.50, which is an area where strong buying has come in, but also a point of control that's gone untested. So a couple of areas to watch out for on pound yen this week. Thanks for watching this video update. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more Forex trading content, and I'll speak to you in the next video.